Three reasons why NBA Finals should be held on a neutral court. Probably not for all 7 games, but for game 1. So let me just quickly snipe one of the takes. Why not game 7? Game 7 doesn't work. Game 7 might not be a game 7, and there's a lot of production that has to go into the neutral court. I'm not even there yet. 3 reasons why. Let me get into idea number 1. The first reason why NBA Finals Game 1 should be on a neutral court. Buzz and buildup, 1 and 1A. Main criticism of this finals has been a lack of buzz, a lack of something. A lot of people can't put their finger on it. Maybe it's the small market teams, but not really, because they still have the MVP. Maybe it's the flow of the games where it's always been kind of a 10-point lead, even though game 1 was awesome. Maybe this is what the NBA world came in on, NBA fans, lack of buzz. And they said, you know what's missing? Signage on the court. That's the reason I'm not super into these finals. I want to see the word the finals on the court. I want to see a little Larry O'Brien trophy on the court. Everyone is up in arms about it. It became a real thing that people knew something was wrong and then diagnosed it's a decal. No one has ever cared about signage, ever. There's a sign on a pack of cigarettes that says, please don't do this. This is going to kill you right now. This is going to put you on the ground right now. Be like, okay, that's fine. No one cares. Oh, put signage on a soda. Hey, this has 200% of your daily sugar. Sounds good to me. But the NBA Finals logo, that was the issue in game 1. It got so loud from the fans that it reached Adam Silver, said, oh, you know what? I didn't notice that until I saw it on social media.
I've seen some of the chat on social media on on-court decals. People don't realize they went away a decade ago because there were claims that Kendrick knows. Some of the players were saying it was slippery when we had the decals on the floor. So we're back to adding them virtually.
Everyone's like, you did the whole court. She said, you know what? Meet you in the middle. They imposed a little digital Larry O'Brien trophy. Did you see this? A little digital one. And in a world where 20 years ago, I saw a full-on lifelike brontosaurus, and now you can have AI deepfakes of this whole thing, I might not even be here. Just ones and zeros. The Larry O'Brien little digital thing didn't really hit. As far as digital decals goes, not great. But there would be more buzz if it was on a neutral court. And here's why. This is key to life right here. Major key alert. Buzz hates spontaneity. Fun loves spontaneity. Oh, we went to this bar. We had so much fun. Oh, I ran into my friend. We had fun. Oh, we're doing this. We're just having fun. Spontaneous, having fun. Buzz likes to be planned. Buzz needs wiring. You go somewhere with a lot of buzz, there is just a snake's nest of 50 wires somewhere running from one place to the other. It's tripping hazard, so they have that little thing that goes over it. Buzz needs a fire marshal. Fire marshal is involved in all buzz. Check it all out. Buzz needs hotel blocks. Buzz needs publicists. If you want buzz, you need the whole thing to be planned. We had Alexi Lalas on the show because the World Cup is a year from now, and we're already planning it. We're going to Miami on Friday for a special show that has been planned. And we're on the same set, I believe, that we were there for the last Super Bowl. So it's all planned out. It's not like, hey, let's pop in somewhere. Buzz needs to be planned. I went to the All-Star game in New Orleans, and my buddy was working some marketing company. And he's like, hey, do you want to play basketball? I said, sure. He says, all right, you got to come over here. So I had to navigate over to like the warehouse district in New Orleans. And there in a warehouse, I was greeted with like a Willy Wonka style Gatorade place where the whole place is Gatorade. I was like, I don't have basketball stuff. He's like, don't worry, we'll get you. I go in, I get basketball stuff. They give me sneakers. They put a little patch on my arm to measure my sweat. Then I go out into the court. We have a full-on training session where I'm doing all the drills. And then they take the patch out and they measure how much you sweat. And then they create a special Gatorade for me with my name on it. And they say, here you go. I said, that's how much you sweat. And filled up my electrolytes just exactly for me. That's buzz. That took a long time to set up. You just can't set that thing up in Oklahoma City, the little sweat monitor thing. So that's reason number one. Buzz needs to be planned. Reason number two, precedent. The league already knows all this stuff about buzz because that's why they have the in-season tournament in Las Vegas. Like, we don't want to be bouncing around the in-season tournament. We need to make it feel special. It's got to be buzzy. Let's have it on one neutral court in Las Vegas, which they already have experience with in Summer League. So, cool neutral courts usually go into two directions. Roaming neutral court and established neutral court. Roaming neutral court. These events are always awesome. Super Bowl is roaming. All-Star games, roaming. The Olympics, roaming. World Cup, roaming. All great, all move around neutral, all involve years, maybe decades of planning. Then you have established neutral court. These are usually like creme de la creme. Wimbledon, the Masters, the hot dog eating contest. The top things in the world are established in certain places. So the argument against it, I get it. Well, basketball's different, the in-season tournament, whatever. Will it really work for the finals? Here's the argument. March Madness is a bunch of neutral courts and roaming. March Madness was in the Alamo Dome. There was 66,000 people in the Alamo Dome to watch Florida-Houston. That final game had 18 million people watching. Game one of the NBA Finals seated 18,000 people and had 9 million people watching. Now, glass half full, it's a little apples oranges because a series will always rate under a one-off. But still, to pop game one and at least put it in front of 3 times as many people, it's something. Those finals games feel like something. It's kind of odd basketball sometimes, but you get the big shot. There's 66,000 people there. You got a lot of buzz. It works. Reason number 3, presentation. So I will work under the assumption, and I know this for a fact, that everyone is trying their absolute hardest and spending money on making the presentation of the finals awesome. The argument is, how much more awesome could it be if you had a year run-up or a 2-year run-up? What else could you do? Cool things. Allow the production all around the game, broadcast, game presentation, everything, to have a year to marinate and let everyone's imaginations go crazy. They've kicked around the idea of a specific basketball arena akin to, stuff like the Masters, stuff like Williamsport Little League World Series. I think that is super interesting. Here's the other reason I think it needs to pop for presentation-wise. The NBA is in danger of getting their lunch money stolen. Opening night is not a thing anymore. It's in the middle of football. It never really was a huge thing. It was a little bit, but it wasn't one of the major things. The 2 major benchmarks before the playoffs were Christmas and the All-Star game. The NFL's come for Christmas, and the narrative last year was LeBron, Steph, it was a great game, and LeBron says Christmas is ours. But the NFL will continually push Christmas and make it very challenging for that day to be an NBA day. All-Star game might pop this year on the back of the Olympics, but the All-Star game's challenged right now. And one of the reasons it's challenged, oddly, according to the players, is that there's too much buzz around it. There's too much other stuff. All that stuff can come to game one of the finals. All of the marketing opportunities, sneaker activations, Gatorade, put a sweat thing on me, see how much I'm sweating. Let that all come to game one of the finals. Let other players be advocates for the finals if they're not playing. When we were at New Orleans for this Super Bowl, we had a few players. There were players, NFL players around. One, because it's kind of cool to be there. It's a cool thing to be there. 2, because there's a lot of activations to have there. There's a lot of shows that are there that we're going to be there all week. There'll be players. There'll be more buzz. It builds and builds and builds. So if the NBA is going to cede or really lose Christmas and the All-Star game drops down a little bit, can you make the finals the big home run? So in conclusion, 3 reasons why game one of the finals should be on a neutral court. More buzz, a good precedent, and a better presentation. That works.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.